So yeah, here I am. Let's dive in. And this is something that I've been thinking about recently, and it comes up again from time to time for me, and it's something that I've worked with coaches on and has helped me a lot in moving forward in my life and business. And every time I sort of go through these steps and these processes, it really helps me to build my awareness, which just puts my foot on the gas pedal, and I start going faster and faster because there's less of these subconscious things going on that are holding me back. So I wanted to share these steps with you because I think they're very, very powerful, and I know they'll help you. So please take the time to sit down and do this. And I don't know how long I'm going to leave this video up for, because I'm going to use it as a training. So jump on it and do it, because I promise you'll find it extremely valuable. So the thinking behind these steps is, have you ever been told, or have you ever caught yourself sounding like your mother? I know it happens to all of us, and there's a reason for that, obviously, because we're made from the same cells that she is. We were brought up around her, we grew up around our mother while we were very young, and our mind was literally forming. So we were forming our ideas about our world and about ourselves by reflecting on our mothers as role models, and that's how we learn to become human. So it's absolutely normal that we end up embodying a lot of the traits that our mothers have. But as you know, we're a new generation. We live in a completely different society, and a lot of those traits, behaviors, thought patterns and emotions aren't useful anymore, and can tend to hold us back from achieving some of the big, new and exciting ideas and dreams that we give birth to along our lifetime. So just having that awareness of our DNA, of our our programming, our behavior patterns that we've learnt, is really, really powerful when it comes to getting over challenges that we face and moving on with building our dreams as quickly as possible. So maybe your mother was similar to my mother in that she was a striver. She made a lot of sacrifices. She, put a lot of people before her own needs, and she worked really, really hard, and she was really busy. Maybe your mother had a successful career, but she did it by embodying a lot of very masculine traits. That maybe you had negative connotations around, and maybe a lot of the way that we respond to and reflect on our mother's behaviors can create blocks within us, because we either are repeating the same behavior patterns or we're rejecting certain behavior patterns, and because of our associations, that can hold us back from or hold negative associations to things like work and our careers and earning money. So we're going to take a bit of time to go through and reflect on that. Sorry, I've had to write down my notes, and my handwriting is terrible, so bear with me. So that's why it's really, really important as a women entrepreneur, especially as any woman who has big dreams for her career, for us to surround ourselves with inspiring women who are succeeding and are doing it in a way that really resonates with us, because we have to create that imagination for ourselves where maybe we didn't have it when we were growing up. Because obviously, when we were younger, there were less and less women in the media and being reported on, and obviously that's something that's changing, thankfully. And now we do have access to so many incredible and inspirational women who are, doing things their own way and finding feminine strategies to succeed in a very masculine world, and rewriting the rules and, forging a new pathway. So it's really important for us to stay tapped in and follow the women who, when we look at their careers and we hear their stories, it paints a picture that we want to step into, and it gets all parts of our conscious and unconscious mind on board. And obviously that's a repetition thing. So the more you see these stories, the more it starts to become normal and safe for your mind and your subconscious mind. So the more likely you're going to get all parts of you on board to start going in that direction. So if you have a family and you have career dreams, but you haven't seen anyone maybe in your family before you achieve those kind of accomplishments, having a family and succeeding in a career, obviously you'll want to look for role models who have succeeded at that and find out how they did it and really believe on a deep level that it's possible. And it is, like, all of your dreams are possible, and there are already people out there who are achieving them. So it's just a case of, letting your intuition take you to the sources that are going to offer that inspiration and, be able to work with and get mentorship from the women who have gone before you. It's really, really important. Just immerse yourself in these new stories. So these 4 steps are going to help you to get an awareness of what maybe your existing stories are that you're running on, the emotional and behavior patterns. So these will help you to identify your subconscious beliefs around women, what women are capable of, around money and around power, which, we've probably, most of us, all picked up from our mothers or our female role models as we were growing up, all throughout our childhood. So I want you to, really take the time to go through these, sit down, get yourself a pen and paper, give yourself time to reflect, and follow these steps. Step number 1 is identify your mum's money story. So think about how much she earned, think about how she felt about that money, think about what she did with it, what she used it for, how she was able to get it to work for her or not, what are her behavior patterns and emotional patterns around money. And really, for each of these steps, I want you to just write as much as possible. Really give yourself the time and just see what comes up, because it'll probably be very revealing. And the more you focus and you ask these questions, the more little tidbits will come to you that maybe weren't initially at the forefront of your memory. And step number 2 is identify your mum's power story. So do the same thing as with step 1. I want you to reflect on the amount of power or the type of power that your mum had in her relationships. So think about this for each one of her family members, especially her parents, especially her partner, everyone in your family, and then her friends, her colleagues, whatever experiences you had of your mother's relationships. Just reflect back and see, for the most part, how was she feeling? How was she treated? How was she responding to her relationships? How empowered did she feel or not throughout her lifetime? So really the focus is on identifying the emotions that she exhibited and the amount of freedom or the lack of freedom that she experienced, because that will definitely have impacted the way you experience your life, from what you've learned as your mother as a role model. And then step number 3, give yourself the gift of awareness. So this can be a challenging step, but sit down and look at everything that you've identified about your mother that you can remember, and just see which of those things really resonate with you and that you can identify with as behavior patterns and emotional patterns in your life, because you can be sure that there will be some, if not all of them. And just, really take the time to reflect, and if there's one, look through the list of everything you've written down, see if there's which particular ones resonate with you, and then see what comes to mind as you look at each one. Like, how is that showing up in your life? How is it showing up in your career, in your relationships, in your finances, in your feelings of freedom, in your feelings of success, or your feelings of being stuck or blocked or slowed down from getting what it is that you really want? And you can also look at your grandmother as well. See if any of these have been in your family for a while, especially related to money. Maybe your grandparents were around during wartime, which obviously was a time of like great scarcity. So obviously scarcity mindset. is something that's very prevalent in our society. And when you've been brought up by grandparents or parents who were literally in the war and living on rations and didn't have that much money and didn't have that much food, fear was a very prevalent emotion. So that will be passed down through generations and through thinking patterns and behaviour patterns about simple things, about the way you do groceries, about the way you spend money, the way you save money, how you get stressed out about it, whether or not you feel empowered to take risks, which obviously will impact your career and building your dreams and stepping outside of your comfort zone. So just identify the patterns that are there, and then we move on to step 4, which is to rewrite your story. So look at all of these traits that you see showing up in your life and write the outcomes that you would like to embody instead. But remember, you get to choose. And that's why awareness is so powerful, because while these patterns may be going on in your subconscious mind and in it really being present in your body and driving your decisions without you necessarily being aware of them, because they're very habitual, because you've grown up with them, you do have the power to change them, and you do have the power to rewire them and to retrain yourself into behavior patterns that are serving you and that are going to help you make more progress towards things that you really desire to create. So I've got a few examples which maybe resonate with you. That's very common amongst women especially. There's people pleasing, there's sacrificing time and energy to take care of others before themselves. There's putting your dreams on hold. There's feeling guilty. I know that's a huge one for mothers. Perhaps, there's having lower income levels. That's obviously something that affects women, and low confidence as well. So, see if any of those things might be holding you back, and really, take the time to look at how that's impacting all the different areas of your life and decide today that that's going to change. So, flip it on all of those instances and really just ask yourself, well, how would I act if the opposite was true? And start to act that way and start to have that awareness and start to catch yourself when you're letting low confidence stop you from, taking an opportunity to progress your career, or when you catch yourself feeling guilty in your relationships with your family and that sort of brings you down and affects your day. Having that awareness allows you to stop that and to really empower yourself to feel better, to tap into that drive, and to really, believe that things are possible for you when you stop letting all of this crap hold you back. So, really tap into what would your life feel like and what would happen if you were experiencing the opposite of these behaviours. And what would that look like to you? What would that feel like? How would that change your day? How would that change the way you're feeling? And just really, come back to this on a regular basis, on a daily basis, because you have to be patient with yourself. It takes a while to make these shifts of, programs that we've been running on for years and years and years. And remember to just be curious about it and don't let it bring you down. Don't judge yourself for it, there's no need to blame your parents for it. It's nobody's fault. This is just, we're all doing the best with what we have, and we have the power to change that, and that's where your focus needs to be. So another really useful technique to help, if this can bring up a lot of emotions, it can be challenging, is emotional freedom technique, which is tapping, where you tap on the acupressure points on the meridians of the body, which we know when you're experiencing a very intense emotion, it really helps to clear those emotions out of your physical body and your subconscious mind. So instead of running away from those emotions or trying to ignore them or suppress them, just facing them straight on and allowing yourself to process them so that you can move past them. EFT is a really useful technique. You can find lots of videos on YouTube for that. So yeah, I would love to hear your feedback and any questions you have from this video and from doing this process. And if you need any support with gaining more awareness on where you might be holding yourself back so that you can get on with living your dream life, book in with me for a discovery call and we can talk about how I can help you. And I would love for us to work together, and I will be bringing you more content from Buenos Aires. I'm here for another couple of weeks. So have an amazing evening and lots of love. I will talk to you soon. Bye.